fault is this shambles? Is it yours, the Prime Minister's, the Chancellor's?
Look, I wish we had got to this point in a different way, and there are absolutely lessons to learn. But I think it's really important we've passed this bill for second reading. It puts in place some really important reforms to the welfare system, tackling work disincentives, making sure that people with severe conditions are no longer reassessed, and alongside our investment in employment support, this will help people get back to work, because that's the right future for them.
Is your position really tenable, though? You've been repeatedly humiliated in the last week.
You know, I think listening is actually a strength in politics, as indeed it is in life, and I'll continue to listen to colleagues.
You want to carry on?
Absolutely. You know, what was very interesting was how much support there was for the principle of reforming the welfare state, that those who can work should work but need help to do so, and that we need to protect those who can't work. The bill begins to make those changes alongside our welfare reforms.
And myself and the whole Labour Party.
Well, there's some really important changes to universal credit, raising the standard allowance for the first time above inflation since the 1970s. It's a really important change. Tackling the disincentive, you know, to define yourself as incapable of work in order to be able to afford to live. We're also bringing forward a right to try, so people can have the confidence that they can try work without putting their benefits at risk. Those are really important changes. There's more to do, but I'm really pleased that this bill has got through its second reading.
Isn't the simple truth that you've been making an argument that unless the welfare state was fundamentally reformed, it would be unsustainable in the future? And yet right now, you're not saving any money.
Do you know, I think that by getting rid of those sort of perverse incentives in the system, getting more people into work, giving people a right to try so they've got the confidence to try work and take the plunge, those things will begin to get more people into work and get the benefits bill on a sustainable footing.
But that's tiny
is the way.
Compared with what you were hoping for.
No, I think that these changes that we will make, especially providing employment support. Look, when we were last in government, the disability employment gap fell and fell and fell. It stalled under the Tories. They scrapped the New Deal for disabled people. We are now putting back in place really important employment support. And that's really important because those who can work should work, but they often need help to do so. And that's what this Labour Party is for.
Haven't you bluntly found out tonight that even with a whopping majority, the Labour Party is just not willing to fundamentally take on reforming the welfare state? You're tinkering around the edges. The things you really wanted to do are in a skip. They're dead. They're buried.
Welfare reform is always difficult because it touches on the lives of millions of people. But we need to make changes because too many people have been written off, are left to a life on benefits when being in good work is so important, not just for their living standards, but for the sense of dignity and self-respect that good work brings. And because we know good work is so good for mental health, Labour's historic mission is to get more people into good work, and that is what we're starting to deliver.
How would you describe the Prime Minister's authority tonight?
I think people are 100% behind a Prime Minister who secured the first Labour government in 14 years. They know they were elected. They were elected on a mandate for change. You know, there are definitely lessons to learn from this process. I certainly will do that, and I'm sure my colleagues will too. But we have agreed on the principles of reform here. We need to make changes to the system, and tonight's vote begins to make a start.
A final thought then, what is the key lesson to learn? Because let's be frank, you've been in politics for a long time, I've reported on it for a long time. This has been an unedifying week for the government.
Welfare reform is always really difficult, and perhaps especially for Labour governments. It's something we care passionately about, but I am absolutely clear that the public wants to make sure those who can work must work. They need support to do that. We need to protect people who can't work. We need to begin to get the benefits bill on a more sustainable footing so it lasts for generations to come. That's what the Labour Party stands for. It's been a bumpy time tonight, but we've passed second reading and we're going to go forward together.